Hi, in this session, we'll see about the BDC and the BAPI methods, what BDC and BAPI methods are, how to use in the migration project. The BDC stands for Batch Data Communication, and it is also referred as batch input. It is used for the mass processing of data, mostly in the initial data migration, and also for the periodic basis, or to automate the business process. The steps for creating a BDC are as follows. First, we have to do the recording of the transition with the T code SHTP. Then the recorded transition. When you do the recording, it records each and every steps which we perform the transition, like which T code we called, which was the first program get called, the cursor position, the field which we entered on each transition, and after entering all the transition on that screen, which OK code, that is the user command we have triggered. It all is done in the recording, captured in the recording SHTP. Once the recording is done, then we transfer the recording to create a program. Then we do the code changes and design the program to accept the file as an input. We do the data mapping from the flat file to the recorded table fields. BDC provides two methods. One is the call transition. Second is the session method. In the call transition method, the data is loaded for one by one from the file, and immediately it is updated when the transition is called. In the session method, we upload the data from the flat file, but it is not updated into database immediately. Rather, it creates a session in the T code which SM35 we can see, and at any point of time we can process that session with the available data. So design flow is like this. When we do the recording with the SHTP, we can see the recording details like this: the program name, the first screen which is called in this program, that is starting a program, the cursor position, the OK code, and we can see the field values. After this recording, we transfer this to create a program in the SE38. This all we'll see in the actual session, as this is the only introduction part. So this is the design flow and the execution flow. After creating the program, we read the data from the text file. It is loaded into internal table. Then the BDC data is filled, and there are two methods. If you're using call transition method, it will directly process the data, and if you're using the session method, first it will create a session in SM35, and by going into SM35 we can process the data. What are advantages of BDC? It is easy to use any transition code, standard as well as custom. Low programming language required if developer know the recording concept well. We can add all kind of validations which are required. Suppose if you're doing the migration for customer, and before migrating you want to check whether customer already exists with the same mobile number or email ID. That validation is possible in the BDC. That is not possible in LSMW. But as a BDC program we are doing in the SE38, it is a normal ABAP editor, so we can do any kind of coding in the SE38. BDC can be run in the foreground mode, background, as well as in the error mode. So along with advantage, what are the disadvantage of BDC? It is slow processing, because for every time it calls the screens, it is just like replaying the recorded video with the new values. It is not possible or little bit difficult for the enjoy transitions, where we require to move on the multiple tabs, or if you have the multiple table controls. Those are some disadvantages of the BDC. The last one is the BAPI, which is stand for Business Application Programming. BAPI are the standard remote enable function models. It also enable external application to access and process data. We can use BAPI for data migration, for the mass processing on the periodic basis, and to automate the business process. The design flow is like, first we have to search for the BAPI with the T code BAPI itself, and then after finding the suitable BAPI for our requirement, we have to create a program in the SC38. The execution part is similar to BDC, like we have to upload a text file, we have to perform validations, and after doing all this, we can call the BAPI and update the record. So advantage of BAPIs are, it is very fast processing. It can be used for the enjoy transition, for creating sales order, purchase order, etc. and other transitions like which have multiple table control, etc. BAPI programs are easy to debug. You can simply go to SC37 and you can put the debugger at a line where required. So what are disadvantages of BAPI? BAPIs are not available for all the transition. It required a very good programming knowledge. Then only we can use the BAPI in the proper way. So in this way, we are done with the introduction part about the data migration. We have gone through the three methods: LSMW, BDC, and BAPI. Under LSMW, we have seen there are 4 different tools available: direct input, BDC, BAPI, and IDOC. Those comes under the LSMW. Apart from that, we can also use the BDC and BAPI separately. So this is end of the introduction. From the next section, we'll do the actual uploading data using the LSMW, BDC, and the BAPI. That will do from the next section.